and that when we do give our lives for service, then we'll have the support of things that we could not count, nor all the things we can see. And we know this to be true. May Allah accept from us, inshallah. Ameen. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum.
It was a cold and stormy night. See? Assalamu alaikum. My name is Makram El-Amin, and I am from Minneapolis, Minnesota, from Masjid Al-Nur. Also the director of El-Amin, Neighborly Needs Community Outreach Services. And I was really just listening. And for a few minutes, I forgot I was supposed to come and speak after him after a while, to be honest with you. But we're going to give this a go. They said, there's a poet by the name of Edgar A. Guest. He has a poem, and I invite you to Google him. And there's a poem that's entitled, "I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day." That's the title. It goes into, he said, "I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day." Any day, okay? So I want to set that as a frame for us to maybe just get into it just for a few minutes. Now the question to you is, what do you think, if anyone have read the poem? No? Okay, well, you can Google it. That's one of those things it's homework for you, all right? But without knowing the content of the poem, just by the title alone, what is he saying? What is the message that you believe he's trying to convey? Yes, sir?
Action speaks louder than words.
Action speaks louder than words. Anybody else? Anybody else want to chime in? Yes.
Well, I'll say this. I'm not familiar with your poet, but Nas said, "Show me, don't tell me." So even the good lyricist creates an image in your mind where you feel it. It's actually create the image. Don't tell me, show me, even through your words. And who can master that ability, and it put yourself in that present when you hear that good lyric, that good poem, that good story, that good narrative, where it transposes you mentally into another place.
Sure.
Do you viscerally feel it?
Yeah. So you gonna quote Nas on me? How you gonna do the Nas thing? How you know I had Nas coming next? How you know I had Nas coming? DC a rough town, man. Rough town, DC. Now, but the point is yes, this idea of action speaks louder than words. You know, they say that in faith that faith without action is what? It's dead. It's dead, right? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we know he says that. I want you to finish my sentences for me. Muslims are to finish my sentences. When you see a wrong, you
Stop it.
change it with your hand. Okay. If you're unable to do so, you and if you're unable to do that, then at least you. But that is okay. Okay. So the whole line of logic has really been established, and we can find it in different narratives and different traditions. It transcends faith, tradition, whatever the case may be. We're coming from a lot of different spaces right now. When we think about the work that we do in Minneapolis, I've been Imam for a little over 20 years in Minneapolis, at Masjid Al-Nur now. And about 2010, so about 7-ish years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, we created El-Amin, the Neighborly Needs Community Outreach Services. Essentially what we wanted that to be, and I just want to say this so you'll understand, sometimes I indirectly say something to you so you can crystallize what I'm trying to get to. We want El-Amin to be the Muslim Catholic Charities. So what do we want it to be?
You go to.
Say it again. So what am I saying when I say that?
Huge.
Social,
Huge, yes, but
the social services that everyone benefits from.
everyone can benefit from, right? Now understand this, when I say the Muslim Catholic Charities, I'm talking about something that you know where its beginnings come from, right? Well, where does it come from? The Catholic tradition, right? But they have transcended that space in such a way that now we can just say them and they mean something bigger than that. They mean something bigger than that. You know that Kleenex is not really it's really called facial tissue.
Tissue. Right.
But we say Kleenex because they got so big of the market share that we say Kleenex. We all know what we're talking about, right?
Right. Zero.
Xerox, exactly the same line as thinking, right? So, but the idea is that it becomes such a staple, becomes such a staple in the society that when you talk about that, just that area of activity, you refer to them, right? This is what we should be having for us.
Yeah.
This is what we should be having for us. You know, when we think about El-Amin is not only, as you know, the 107th chapter of the Quran, where it begins by the guy says, do you see the one who denies religion? Do you see the one who gives a lie to faith? This idea, and it goes on to talk about various categories, but among them is that they don't feed the hungry. They don't support the orphan, right? He said, and they don't even offer just a neighborly courtesy. Just a neighborly courtesy, like the old Miss Johnson. She tried to make it out of her car and up her steps and she got one too many bags of groceries in her hand. El-Amin says, I gotta go in. I don't think about, well, I don't know Miss Johnson. She looked at me that funny that day, or she always, tell to get off her porch, and that don't come into play with us, does it? No. Just the motivation from my tradition says I must act. I must act. If I'm going to be true to myself, I must act. If I'm going to live the best of my humanity, I must act. If I'm going to fulfill my covenant with God, I must act. I must act. There are about 25 references, 25 or more references in the Quran for the feeding of the poor. The feeding of the poor. El-Amin has particularly 3 strands of activity. Okay, one is reentry. Reentry services, just supporting men and women, but majority men, African American, men of color coming home, trying to adjust back to society. We have a program we're trying to really work with them to be a support system for them. We have another around affordable housing, where we own and or manage a number of housing units to give decent, safe, affordable housing to people in low-income brackets in the inner city of the community. Okay? And then the one that has become really our staple is our food service project that we have. And it has 5 components. I would say to you that food service is or has become another ministry for us. It's a ministry. It's a way that we interface with the public. It's a way that we engage people. Because one of the things that you have to understand about food service is that it's really a platform to engage people. I mean, it's what you do when you really want to engage somebody and sit them down and really make them feel good. Come on, let's break bread. Let's break bread. And when you do that, that kind of sets the tone and allows you to kind of delve into some other deeper discussions about what's really going on in the life of people. And that's how we utilize the food service and the food service a program, a project that we have in terms of engaging people to see what is it that's going on in the lives of people. So it has 5 different components. I'll just talk about them a little bit briefly and then wrap up with a couple other points. So there are 5 components to our food service project. The one is we have a monthly food distribution. And we give away food to anybody who asks. To anybody who asks. And we do it in a way till all of it is gone, so we don't put any restrictions on people. If you are in need, you can come and get served. Okay? So that's one thing. Twice a month, we do what's called a hot meals program. It's a prepared meal, it's a nutritious meal, and we prepare it, put it together, and we have people that can come and get it, or we also make a concerted effort to go and visit those who are shut in, those who are immobile. The Quran talks about visiting those, right? Who are immobile. I want to crystallize a few points from our tradition to show how we're trying to put them into action. That's why I'm stopping and pausing along the way. The third component of this is the summer food feeding project. We partnered with Islamic Relief to do some things for over a number of years. We become a sponsor. This year alone, we will probably, over the course of 10 weeks, we will have prepared, I don't want to exaggerate, approximately 30,000 meals in the Minneapolis area for children under the age of 18, which they come to our site, and we have another 8 remote locations that we serve meals on a regular basis, nutritionist meals according to USDA standard. And we do this, and we have been doing this for the last 4 to 5, 6 years now. I can't remember the number, right? But it's becoming a staple of the work that we do, okay? The fourth component is we have a community garden. We grow food on the side of the masjid. We have 7 raised beds where we're growing greens and lentils, strawberries, tomatoes, kale, spinach, stevia, the little sweet plant, as well as the peppermint, herbs, bitter melon, and all these other things that we say that if we would just increase this intake into our own diets, the healthy consequences of this intake would help us come off a lot of medicine that we own. It would help us live a healthier and a higher quality of life.